So we are seeing more companies implementing vaccine policies, but some employees may be thinking about the legal rights that they may have when it comes to these new rules. So we are going to rejoin Laura Williams, managing partner with Williams HR Law. Thank you so much for coming back.
Again, thanks for having me, Melanie.
All right,
there
so
were questions in the last segment.
I was going to say, and very much tip of the iceberg, so I'd like to dig a little bit deeper into some of the themes that we were coming across here with some of our viewers. So let's get right back to it. We know that there will be challenges, and there will be people who are unvaccinated, do not want to get vaccinated, but their employer says, I want you to be. What is the difference in legal wording when it comes to mandating versus a policy versus testing? How clear does it need to be on both ends for everyone to understand what is needed as an employer and an employee?
It needs to be crystal clear, and expectations have to be set as early as possible. I think what's going to happen is with the federal government mandating vaccination for the public service and in the transportation sectors, and the Ontario government upping the ante with respect to ensuring that there's mandatory vaccination policies in high-risk settings, and cities implementing mandatory vaccination policies for their employees. A lot of organizations in the private sector are going to feel emboldened to say, okay, well, now our employees have to be vaccinated. But you have to be very clear, and you have to ensure, again, as I said before, that there's a really solid why as to the need to ensure that employees are vaccinated.
So we're seeing in certain workplaces, as you're seeing on the bottom of your screen, the city of Toronto, their workers being mandated to be vaccinated. The only exemption being here medical, and then healthcare, high-risk settings like healthcare or education. There's a vaccination policy in place that was implemented by the government of Ontario that's saying you need to be vaccinated, but if you aren't, you can provide certain reasons why / you can do testing. It does create a little bit of a gray here, and that's where some of the controversy comes into play. So from a legal standpoint, do you anticipate there are going to be a number of challenges here?
There will be challenges, and there have been challenges. And, you hear employee lawyers saying that, if it's not done accurately, if it's not done with providing notice and then changing conditions as you ought to, as per the law, then there could be constructive dismissal allegations, meaning that the employer unilaterally changed the terms and conditions of employment and thereby repudiated the employment agreement and therefore owes the employee notice as if the employee's employment was terminated. So we will see challenges. We'll also see human rights challenges. One of the things that's been kind of bubbling up to the surface as well is what is a kind of a sanctioned medical reason for not being vaccinated? Is my mental health and my fear and anxiety related to vaccination enough to get me there? So we're going to see it's a very complex area. But one thing when it comes to be it human rights or even some of the requirements that are in the workplace, they're all tethered to to health and safety and to public safety. And in many cases that can trump.
Wow, Laura, I wish we had more time with you because, again, there are so many more questions. Please do come back because I know the conversations will continue and they'll likely change as well in that, the other follow-up question I had for you, which we don't have the time for, is whether or not we're going to see a reversal of some of these policies that employers are putting in, depending on what we are learning about vaccinations, what we are learning about work from home and whatnot. So please stay in touch. How can people find you online?
Again, I'm managing partner of Williams HR Law LLP, and it's williamshrlaw.com. And Melanie, if you will let me just say one little clarification. We talked about testing earlier and the cost of testing. There is a provincial antigen screening program where the government has provided millions of tests to employers free of cost. So that is also something that a lot of employers have available to them.
Okay, Laura, we appreciate you taking the time for this two-part segment. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, Melanie. Thanks for having me.